Hey everybody, it's Emily, the Crazy Worm Lady. I'm here today to peek in on the European night crawlers. I had to leave town unexpectedly, so all of my updates have been behind schedule. So I apologize for that. But this bin, I also received a shipment of some additional worms a few weeks ago, and I don't think that update ever posted. So there are some more worms in here. And before I left, I did put an egg crate in here with some food. So that's been in here for maybe a week and a half now. It was pretty heavily fed. And it was down here. And I'm not seeing the food, but I am seeing the worms. You see there's some babies in here too. And this is feeling very flaky. Feels like an excellent consistency in here. Here's some more of this egg crate. I mean, you can just see that's all castings in there. Very little bedding left in it. So, I mean, these worms were just all laying in it. But it is hair dry, but I'm actually thinking I might sift out some of these castings and just fill it up with some more bedding today. I'm not quite sure. But they definitely could use a new feeding, and I'm going to position myself a little bit better, and we'll dig through a bit more before we decide what we're going to do for today. Okay, so I took my rags and all out of here, so there's a little bit less stuff in here taking up space. But I feel like it's just taken off since I got those additional worms in here, and probably a little bit of neglect on this the last week or so probably was beneficial. I wasn't constantly peeking in here, and it just looks like the amount of castings I have now are substantially higher than they were, and seems like at a very fast rate. So seems to be picking up a little bit more. I also think the weather probably helps. It's my understanding that European night crawlers, although they do compost year-round, are definitely more active in the warmer months. And since now we're pretty much steady in the upper 70s, 80s every day, they seem to be thriving. So, I mean, this bin is just chock full of worms. And it's a little compact down here at the bottom, but it's definitely not like wet to the point where I couldn't sift it. It's a fine consistency that I could sift some out, which I actually do think I'm going to do today. But the worms are very big, they're healthy. This guy's trying to escape on me. I was hoping to find my corn cob in here. See if we have any new cocoons, but now with more worms and its bin being much fuller, it's a little harder to find. So I'm going to turn the camera off for a second. I'm going to see if I can find that corn cob, and then I'm going to sift a little bit of this stuff out. Okay guys, so this is a Rubbermaid that I keep my finished castings in, and I've been waiting to make this video, and today is just going to work out well since I'm trying to catch up on anything anyway. So I had seen a video with Larry Hall, and this was quite a while ago, where he used a mesh bin like this to sift his castings, and since then I've seen a few other people do it with a lot of success, and I've been experimenting with it the last few weeks, and it works excellent. I put everything that I want to sift in here, shake it through, then the worms stay on top, any unprocessed bedding stays on top, and I just dump it back into the system. So I'm going to fill this up with some of our castings from the European night crawlers, and I'm just going to show you how I sift some of that out. Okay guys, so I just put a few handfuls of the bedding and the worms from my system in here, and obviously it doesn't look like there's a whole lot that could be sifted. However, I'm going to show you that you really can sift a good deal of this out. The only problem is that some of your worms will climb through, and I'll pull them out in a minute. It's no big deal. But I'm going to sift some of this out, see if I can get an extra set of hands to video this for me, and we'll see what we can do from there. Okay, so I just fill it with a few handfuls of the worms here, and I sift over top of this collection bin. A lot of the worms fall through, but also a lot of the castings. So all I have to do now is pull some of these worms out, and now I have more space in my bin to add some fresh bedding for these worms. So these are what the finished castings look like. And I was able to clear up a good maybe 2 inches or so in here. So I think that all in all, just doing that periodically, especially now that my worms are actually taking off in here, to free up some space so they can finish what they have in here, that's an excellent way to do so. People are concerned about injuring the worms. I've used sifting methods of one way or another for just about ever, and although trying to migrate them and sift, less worms is definitely preferable, I've never noticed a worm get injured. I mean, I don't shake and shake and shake for minutes before I pull the worms out. So personally, I'm not too concerned about injuring the worms that way. But this was a good way for me now to get this bin ready. Then I can add a few more inches of fresh bedding and a feeding. Okay, so I laid some of these egg crates back over the top here. I am not going to wet this down. Once I really kind of got all through the bottom and mixed it up, I realized that it's plenty moist in here. So I'm just going to add a few handfuls of frozen and thawed scraps. There are some onions, looks like tops of celery, and I'm just going to top this off. They like bell pepper, I'll do that too. And I'm going to top this off the entire surface area, an inch or two, with some dried coconut coir. I'm trying to finish up using the coir that I had. And we will leave this for another week, and hopefully I will be back on my regular schedule now for updates. So drop your comments below, like this video, and subscribe if you want some more content from me. And I'll be back with you guys next week, and we will see how they're getting along with their new living environment, since we're going to add some more bedding for them. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.